Most SCHD investors think they're making passive income, but they're actually losing money every year.
All right, let's talk about one of the most talked about ETFs in the dividend investing world, SCHD. If you've been anywhere near finance YouTube, Reddit, or investing Twitter, you've probably heard people say something like this: just buy SCHD, hold forever, and live off dividends. Sounds simple, sounds safe, sounds like the dream. But here's the truth. Most people are using SCHD completely wrong, especially in a taxable account. And that mistake can quietly cost you thousands of dollars over time. So in this video series, I'm going to break down the smartest way to actually use SCHD in a taxable account. Not the hype version, the real version. Let's start from the basics. SCHD stands for Schwab U.S. Dividend Equity ETF. It's designed to track high-quality U.S. companies that consistently pay and grow dividends. We're talking about companies with strong cash flow, solid balance sheets, and a history of rewarding shareholders. Names like Coca-Cola, PepsiCo, Texas Instruments, Home Depot. Companies that aren't flashy, but they're reliable. Now, as of 2025 to early 2026, SCHD is trading roughly in the range of about $70 to $85 per share depending on market conditions. Its dividend yield typically sits around 3% to 3.8%, sometimes pushing close to 4% depending on price drops. And this is where most beginners get excited. They see that yield and think, if I just invest enough money, I can live off dividends. But here's where things start getting misunderstood. Because not all dividends are equal, especially when you're investing in a taxable account. Let's break that down. A taxable account is just your regular brokerage account, not a retirement account like a 401k or IRA. That means every time you receive dividends, you may owe taxes on them, even if you don't sell anything. Even if you reinvest everything, you still get taxed. And this is where SCHD can become either a powerful wealth tool or a silent tax trap. Because SCHD pays quarterly dividends. That means 4 times a year, cash hits your account, and the IRS sees it. Now, in the U.S., most SCHD dividends are qualified dividends. That's a good thing, because qualified dividends are taxed at lower rates than ordinary income. For most people, that's 0%, 15%, or 20% depending on your income. But here's the catch. Even at 15% tax, you're still losing a portion of your compounding every single year. Let me explain that in a simple way. Imagine you invest $100,000 into SCHD. Let's say it yields around 3.5%. That means you're getting about $3,500 per year in dividends. Now assume a 15% tax rate. You're paying around $525 in taxes every year. That might not sound like much, but here's what most people don't realize. That $525 isn't just tax, it's lost compounding. That money could have been reinvested and grown over time, and over 10, 20, 30 years. This becomes a massive difference. This is what I call the dividend illusion. You feel like you're earning passive income, but in reality, part of your growth is being taxed away before it even gets the chance to compound. Now, don't get me wrong. SCHD is a great ETF. This is not about saying SCHD is bad. This is about understanding where it fits best. Because using SCHD in a taxable account without a strategy is like trying to fill a bucket that has small holes in it. You're still filling it, but slowly it leaks. Now here's where things get interesting, because SCHD has 2 major strengths. Number 1, consistent dividend growth. And number 2, relatively stable companies. But it also has one hidden weakness in taxable accounts. It forces taxable events every single year. And that's the key idea you need to understand before going any further. Because smart investors don't just look at returns. They look at after-tax returns, what you actually keep, not what you earn on paper. And this is where most beginners go wrong. They chase dividend yield without thinking about tax efficiency. And in a taxable account, tax efficiency is everything. Now let's go a little deeper. Why do people love SCHD so much? Because it feels safe. You're not relying on selling shares. You're getting income. It feels like a salary. But psychologically, that can trick you because you're focusing on income instead of total return. And total return is what actually builds wealth. Let me say that again. Total return, not dividends, is what builds wealth. SCHD's total return comes from 2 things: dividend payouts and price appreciation. But if you're constantly paying taxes on dividends, you're reducing your net return. And that changes the entire game. Now compare that to something like a growth ETF. A growth ETF might not pay much in dividends, which means you don't pay taxes every year. You only pay taxes when you sell. That's called tax deferral. And tax deferral is powerful because it allows your money to compound untouched for years. So now the question becomes, if SCHD creates taxable income every year, how do you use it smartly in a taxable account? That's exactly what we're going to break down in this series, because there is a smart way to use SCHD, and there is a lazy way. Most people use the lazy way. They just buy it, reinvest dividends, and think they're doing everything right. But smart investors, they structure their portfolio intentionally. They think about when to use SCHD, where to place SCHD, how much SCHD to hold, and how to minimize tax drag. And once you understand that, everything changes. Because SCHD is not a one-size-fits-all ETF. It's a tool. And like any tool, it only works well if you use it correctly. So before we move to strategies, let's lock in one core idea. Dividends are not free money. They are part of your total return. And in a taxable account, they come with a cost. That cost is taxes. And if you ignore that cost, you're leaving money on the table. So now that you understand how dividends from SCHD get taxed every single year, let's talk about the biggest mistake most investors make. They put SCHD in a taxable account without even thinking about where it actually belongs. And this is where a simple concept can completely change your results. That concept is called asset location, not asset allocation, asset location. Most people focus on what to buy. Smart investors focus on where to put it. Because where you place an investment can be just as important as the investment itself. Let me explain. You generally have two types of accounts in the U.S. taxable accounts and tax-advantaged accounts. Tax-advantaged accounts include things like a 401k or an IRA. Inside these accounts, your investments can grow without being taxed every year. In a traditional 401k or IRA, you defer taxes until withdrawal. In a Roth account, you may never pay taxes on qualified withdrawals at all. Now think about this for a second. If SCHD is generating dividends every year, and those dividends are taxable in a regular brokerage account, wouldn't it make more sense to place SCHD in a tax-advantaged account instead? That way, those dividends can compound without being taxed annually. This is the first major insight. SCHD is generally more tax efficient inside a tax-advantaged account because it eliminates the annual tax drag. Now compare that to a growth ETF. A growth ETF might pay very little in dividends, so even in a taxable account, you're not generating much taxable income each year. Most of your gains come from price appreciation, and you only pay taxes when you sell. That means you control when you get taxed. That's a huge advantage because controlling taxes is one of the most powerful tools in investing. Let's make this very clear. SCHD in a taxable account creates ongoing tax obligations. Growth ETFs in a taxable account allow tax deferral. So if you flip the strategy and place SCHD in a tax-advantaged account and growth ETFs in a taxable account, you instantly improve tax efficiency.
We've talked about tax drag, asset location, and why blindly holding SCHD in a taxable account can hurt your long-term returns. Now let's flip the script. Let's talk about how to actually use SCHD smartly, even if you're investing in a taxable account. Because here's the truth, SCHD is not the problem. Using it without a strategy is the problem. So let's start with the first big question. When does it actually make sense to hold SCHD in a taxable account? There are a few specific situations where it can make sense. Number one, if your income is low enough that your qualified dividend tax rate is 0%. In the US, depending on your filing status and income, you could pay zero tax on qualified dividends. That means SCHD dividends become effectively tax-free. Now that changes everything, because now there is no tax drag. Your dividends can be reinvested fully. And in that case, holding SCHD in a taxable account becomes much more attractive. But here's the catch. This only applies if your income stays within that threshold. Once your income increases, you move into the 15% or even 20% bracket, and then the tax drag comes back. So this strategy works best for students, early investors, or people in lower income brackets. Now let's move to the second situation. You actually need income, not later, right now. If you're someone who depends on cash flow from your investments, SCHD can make sense in a taxable account because it provides consistent quarterly income. You don't need to sell shares, you don't need to time the market, you just receive dividends. Now again, this is more of a lifestyle decision than a pure optimization decision, because from a strict tax efficiency perspective, selling shares from a growth portfolio can often be more efficient. But psychologically, many investors prefer dividends, and that's okay, as long as you understand the trade-offs. Now let's move to the third situation. You've already built a large position in SCHD. Selling it would trigger capital gains taxes, and those taxes could be significant. In that case, selling just to optimize might actually hurt you more. So sometimes the smart move is not to sell, but to adjust going forward. And this is where strategy becomes important. Now let's talk about the most powerful approach, combining SCHD with growth ETFs. This is where things start to get really interesting. Instead of going all in on dividends or all in on growth, you create a balance. Let's say you build a portfolio like this, a portion in SCHD and a portion in a growth-focused ETF. The growth side handles long-term compounding, minimal taxes, maximum reinvestment. The SCHD side provides income and stability. Now here's the key. You don't have to rely 100% on dividends for income. You can create your own dividend by selling a small portion of your growth ETF. And here's why that matters. When you sell shares, you only pay taxes on the gain portion of what you sell, and you choose when to do it. Compare that to SCHD dividends, which are paid out regardless of whether you need them or not, and taxed immediately. This is why combining strategies can be powerful. You get the best of both worlds. Now let's talk about how a smart investor structures this. Instead of asking, how much dividend can I get? They ask, how do I maximize after-tax returns while maintaining flexibility? That's a completely different mindset. Now here's a practical structure. In a taxable account, you might lean more toward growth ETFs because they are more tax efficient. Then, if you still want SCHD, you keep it as a smaller portion, not the entire portfolio. That way, you still get some income, but you reduce tax drag. And if you have access to tax-advantaged accounts, you place SCHD there. So your overall system looks like this. Taxable account, more growth-focused. Tax-advantaged account, more dividend-focused. That's a smart setup. Now here's another powerful idea. You can use SCHD as a transition asset. What does that mean? When you're young, you focus more on growth. As you get closer to needing income, you gradually shift toward SCHD. This way, you maximize compounding early and income later, instead of sacrificing growth too early. Because one of the biggest mistakes investors make is chasing income too soon. They give up growth before they actually need income, and that could cost them years of compounding. Now let's address one more important point: volatility. SCHD tends to be less volatile than pure growth ETFs. That's because it holds more established companies. So in a downturn, it may feel more stable. And for many investors, that matters. Because investing isn't just math, it's behavior. If you panic sell, none of this works. So sometimes holding SCHD can help you stay invested, and that has value. But again, it should be intentional, not automatic. Now let's bring this all together. Using SCHD in a taxable account is not wrong, but it requires awareness. You need to understand your tax bracket, your income needs, your long-term goals, and your overall portfolio structure. Because without that, you're just guessing, and guessing in investing usually leads to underperformance.
So now we've covered everything from the basics to tax drag to asset location to real strategies. Now it's time to put it all together. This is where most people either finally understand the game or continue making the same mistakes for years. So let's build a complete system, a simple, practical blueprint for using SCHD the smart way in a taxable account. No overcomplication, no fancy theory, just what actually works. Let's start with the first rule. Always think in terms of after-tax returns, Not dividend yield, not income, after-tax return. Because what matters is not how much you earn, it's how much you keep. That one shift in thinking will automatically make your decisions better. Now the second rule, separate your accounts by purpose. Your taxable account is your flexibility account. Your tax-advantaged account is your compounding machine. Once you understand that, everything becomes clearer. In your taxable account, you prioritize tax efficiency. That means leaning more toward investments that don't create frequent taxable events. In your tax-advantaged account, you can hold income-generating assets like SCHD without worrying about annual taxes. Now let's talk about allocation, a simple framework that actually works. If you only have a taxable account, you don't go all in on SCHD. That's the mistake. Instead, you build around it. For example, you might structure it like this: a majority portion in growth-focused investments and a smaller portion in SCHD. This reduces tax drag while still giving you some income. Now, if you have both types of accounts, you optimize further. You place most of your SCHD in your tax-advantaged account, and in your taxable account, you focus more on growth. This is not about perfection, it's about direction. Even a small shift toward this structure can improve your long-term results. Now let's talk about income, because this is where most people get confused. They think, I need dividends to create income. But that's not true. You can create income by selling a small portion of your portfolio. And in many cases, that's more tax efficient because you control the timing and you only pay tax on gains, not the full amount. So instead of asking, how much dividend am I getting, ask, how can I generate income in the most tax-efficient way? That's a completely different approach. Now let's talk about tax minimization strategies, real ones, not complicated tricks, simple things that actually work. First, be mindful of your tax bracket. If you're in a lower income year, that might be a good time to realize gains or receive dividends at a lower tax rate. Second, avoid unnecessary selling. Every time you sell, you potentially trigger taxes, so your strategy should minimize forced taxable events. Third, think long-term. Holding investments for over a year qualifies for long-term capital gains rates, which are lower than short-term rates. That alone can make a big difference. Now let's talk about mistakes, because avoiding mistakes is just as important as making good decisions. Mistake number 1, chasing dividend yield. High yield doesn't mean better returns. In fact, it often comes with trade-offs. Mistake number 2, ignoring taxes. This is the biggest silent killer of returns, especially in a taxable account. Mistake number 3, putting everything in one account without a plan. No structure, no strategy, just random buying. That's not investing, that's guessing. Mistake number 4, starting income strategies too early. If you don't need income yet, focus on growth. Let compounding do its job. Income can come later. Mistake number 5, thinking dividends are free money. They are not. They are part of your return, and in a taxable account, they come with a cost. Now let's zoom out for a second, because this is bigger than SCHD. This is about how you think as an investor. Are you chasing income or building wealth? Because those are not always the same thing. Wealth is built through compounding, efficiency, time, and discipline, not just collecting dividends. SCHD can absolutely be part of a smart portfolio, but it should be used intentionally, not emotionally, not blindly, and definitely not based on hype. Now let's end with a simple system. If you remember nothing else, remember this. Use SCHD where it's most efficient. Balance it with growth. Focus on after-tax returns and stay consistent. That's it, because investing is not about finding a perfect ETF. It's about building a system that works for you over decades. And if you get this right, you're not just investing, you're building real financial freedom.